We are at Meiji Shrine in Tokyo, Japan. Probably the most famous shrine and one of the more famous landmarks in Tokyo, particularly for tourists. Before we go into the shrine, and before I tell you a little bit about Shinto, you have to go over here to what's called Temizuya. And Shinto is about purifying. That's one element of it. And before you go into a Shinto shrine, you have to purify yourself. And the way this is done, and I've already done this, so I don't have to do it now, but you would take this ladle here, you take some water from it, and rinse out your left hand, and then you would wash your right hand, and then you put water in your left hand again and rinse out your mouth, spit it out, never touching the ladle with your mouth, and then you're ready to go into the shrine. And as you walk into the shrine, you can see up here we've got this gate. It's called Tori, T-O-R-I-I. And essentially this signifies that you're leaving, the world of humans, or the everyday world, and you're going into the world of the gods. And you notice the people there, they've just bowed. And what you have to do when you enter is bow before you go through the gate, to show respect, and you do the same thing when you leave. Now I'm going to come up here because I can see that we've got what's called shide. You see these white pieces of paper along this building. You can get a closer look there. And you can see that they're tied to what's called shimenawa, this rope. And the idea is that where you see this, these zigzag pieces of paper, and there's 3 different styles, tied to that rope, means that it's a place that is sacred. Maybe rituals or some kind of festival event kind of thing is happening. It's a place really where, for the most part, priests are supposed to go. Now that was a little bit different, but when you see that, that's what it signifies. It's a sacred place. Now what you see in front of us here is called the Honden, which would be the main building. And this is the main building, of course, of Meiji Shrine. Before I tell you about this, I'll tell you about the Emperor Meiji, because this whole complex is dedicated to the Emperor Meiji, who died in 1912, and his wife, Empress Shoken, who died in 1914. And Emperor Meiji was a really important person in the modernization of Japan. So in 1868, after a buildup of more than a decade, essentially you had a lot of unhappy daimyo, feudal lords, and samurai that they wanted to see Japan modernize and catch up, and they felt that the Tokugawa period and the Tokugawa shogunate was holding the country back, and they rebelled. And they wanted to see the emperor back in power as the symbolic leader of the country. Of course, they were basically just self-interested and wanted political power, and they got that in his name. Now we're going to go look forward here again at the Honden. If you would look straight through there, there are a couple of lanterns that are lit. In that place, really, you have to be a priest to go in. People wouldn't be able to go in there. People do have weddings and marriages and special ceremonies here for the family, but those would be held in different buildings. So you have to be a priest, or you'd have to be one of the female assistants of a Shinto priest called a miko. And you can see here people are going up to the offering box. So what you would do is clap your hands twice. You would bow twice, give your offering, and clap your hands twice again. And sometimes you would see a bell, and then you would ring the bell to signify to the gods that you're here. You've arrived, and you want to express your gratitude. And essentially that's why people come to a shrine. They want to either pray or make a wish or express gratitude to the deities. And of course there are only 2 deities enshrined here. That would be Emperor Meiji and Empress Shoken. Now what you can see here are wooden tablets, and these wooden tablets are called emma, and there are 2 kinds of emma, but one would have the shrine's crest called kamon, or it would have your zodiac. And you can see here that people have things written on. I'll just kind of scan across there a bit. People have written in several different languages, which you can do, their wishes or their prayers or some kind of expression of gratitude. And you can leave that there, but some Japanese as well, what they do is they take them home. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about Shinto shrines. Now, Shinto shrines, basically Shinto, I may have mentioned before, it means a place of worship, and And why people created these shrines was out of fear of things like demons and evil spirits and that kind of thing. So they created these places to come and express gratitude and thanks for peace and harmony in nature, because Shinto is a belief system where humans are in harmony with nature. As we came in, you noticed at the Torii Gate, maybe if you know Shinto worship and the belief system, what we didn't see were two dogs called Koma Inu. Usually you'll have two dogs guarding against evil spirits on the left and on the right, and one would have its mouth open and one would have its mouth closed. Another interesting thing, though, about these places of worship, a Shinto shrine actually doesn't have to be a building. A Shinto shrine could also be, it could be a mountain, like an entire mountain. It could be, well, if Mount Fuji is considered sacred, it could be a rock. It could be some kind of natural thing. And what we're doing is coming down here, and what you see in front of you, that building is called a kagurya. And at a building like this, now this one, again, Meiji Shrine is not ancient. What's ancient about it is the whole purpose of how worship is done here. So this building is actually, I think it was constructed around 1990, but in here, it's actually 3 levels, with the 3rd level being here on this ground level that we have, that we're looking at. But they have, music ceremonies and festival type of things in there, and basically things like No theater and Kyogen theater, which is a form of comedic No. That's just bringing out the gods, saying, "Hey, we're here," and we'd like you to come out. And what you can see in front of us here are places where you can buy amulets or charms, things like that. Omamori. And essentially you can take them with you. Omikuji is another thing. You've got paper where you get some kind of fortune or a wish, and in some instances you might tie that to the branch of a tree. Now a little bit more about Shinto as we go back into the inner sanctuary. And there's not just the inner sanctuary as well. There's the inner sanctuary and the honden and whatnot. And within this whole area, in the honden, there are also like inner buildings and that kind of thing, and they all serve the different purposes. But Shinto itself, it's not so much a religion as it is a belief system. It doesn't have a founder. It doesn't have a holy book like the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or something. It's concepts of people don't convert to Shinto. You can be Shinto and you can be Christian or Jewish or Muslim. It doesn't matter. The idea with Shinto is that you're a human being. You're living in harmony with nature. There are spirits. They call them kami. They are divine. And when you come here, you kind of summon kami. But kami can be a lot of different things. It could be the spirit of a dead animal, or it could be the spirit of an ancestor of yours, or a person who's died. Japanese people do keep little shrines inside their home, and they'll have a photo of people in their family who have passed on. So the kami are not gods, as in Allah or God in the Christian sense. There are like unlimited number of gods. Just briefly, what we're looking at here, these are different donations, because there is a building in every shrine where they prepare food for offerings during events and festivals. And here at Meiji Shrine, they do have festivals throughout the year. They do have a big New Year's event every year where throngs and throngs of people come to express their gratitude or pray for a wish to come true, or that kind of thing. I'm walking along here so you can see some of the architecture here at Meiji Shrine. And if you haven't noticed by now, it's a major tourist destination. So a little bit more. There is surrounding here. I mean, this is a 700,000 square meter park, if you will. You know, they have a little garden that you can walk through. And when they built this, there were 100,000 trees dedicated to the project, and they came from all over Japan. And again, you see the shide right here with the shimenawa. So you can see that these trees, it means that they are sacred and they have a special purpose. And that is a little bit about Meiji Shrine. I think I'm going to go and make my offering. But I need 2 hands to clap. So, hope you enjoyed the little tour.